That's all you need. All you need to be successful, not just in film, in life. All you need to do is hold on. Yeah.
Welcome to the Pantheon Parenthetical. My name is Lance Ash. I don't have very many concrete memories from the years before I started kindergarten. So let's start with kindergarten. A couple of days before school started, my mother took me down to meet the teacher, get familiarized with what the situation would entail and so forth. The kindergarten that I went to was in a series of little houses separate from the main main school building, where the big kids went to school. And the teacher, whose name was Mrs. Whitaker, showed me around the classroom. And in the back of the room, there were these huge wooden toy trucks, big enough to sit on. And I was very excited about the prospect of playing with these. But in the event, during the course of the entire school year, we never were allowed to touch them. Another disappointing incident was the occasion of somebody's birthday in the class. And the teacher's assistant, I can't remember her name, she reached up on top of one of the cupboards in the room and brought down this huge, elaborately decorated birthday cake with candles on top. And I thought, oh, we are going to get to eat birthday cake. They put the cake in front of the little girl, I think it was, lit the candles, we all sang the birthday song, and then she blew out the candles, and then they put the cake back up on top of the cupboard because it wasn't a real cake. Another incident was we were sitting on the floor coloring something, and I remember the little boy beside me glancing at what I was doing and then just lunging at me, saying, "You're coloring outside the lines!" Another incident I want to make sure we have time to discuss here is they used to have these things called teacher planning days, where it was sort of like an unannounced closure of the school for some reason. No school today. And I started, because of the way my birthday falls and the way the law was written back then, I started kindergarten when I was 4 and turned 5 a couple of months later. So I was 4 or 5 years old. And they trusted me to convey the information that there will be no school on Thursday or whatever it was. And trusted that I would have the verbal skills to convince my parents that this was the case. And of course, I forgot. My father and my father had driven me to the bus stop area in his truck. We're sitting there. No bus comes by. He thinks we've missed the bus somehow. So he drove me to school. We pull up in front of the little kindergarten house, and there's no children, no activity, no cars, nothing. And he sends me to the door to see what's going on. And by the time I get to the door and find that it's locked, I remember, oh, that's right, there's no school today. So embarrassed and upset, I turned around and had a little fit, screaming and crying and stamping my feet as I marched back to the truck. Well, the next day that school was in session, I get to school, and Mrs. Lumpkin, who was another one of the teachers in the little complex, took me aside and said, Was that you? Was that you that I saw the other morning, throwing that childish tantrum? Why, yes, it was. Let's see, what else happened? Kindergarten. We had a day where we were, I don't know if it was Halloween or not, but we were encouraged to wear costumes to class. And I didn't have an actual costume, so in lieu of a costume, I wore a raincoat with a hood and pretended it was a Batman costume, and got to school, and there was another boy with an actual store-bought Batman costume, and I had to help him put his costume on. And I'm sure that there's some more wonderful incidents of that year, but the episode is coming to an end, and so that's it for now. Thank you very much for listening.